Boom. And here we go. Episode 55, Chat with Gunner, coming on the week of Super Bowl 55. We couldn't have matched those numbers up any better, Ethan, that's for sure.
We definitely didn't plan it.
We definitely didn't plan it, but we couldn't have matched those numbers up even better. Wait, oh, the spray tan's coming in like mid-show? Literally can see it as the show was happening? Had the spray tan up. Got to wrestle tomorrow. Southern Honor Wrestling, Canton, Georgia, 7:30 p.m. or doors at 7, shows at 8, whatever you want to do. We just had to shoot some footage for that here outside the studio. But yeah, man, big week. Been a very quiet week in the media a little bit. We'll touch on it towards the end, but let's just go dive in head first right here. We're looking at DraftKings. We're looking at the Super Bowl. That's the next bet. Everybody wants to know, hey, man, who you picking on the Super Bowl? Who's it going to be? Who's going to win? That's the question that everybody's asking on every sports channel. That's the question everybody's asking on every podcast. That's the question on the radios. The people are getting their commercials set up. You know, commercials are a big thing during the Super Bowl. And this year we have the old GOAT and the young GOAT, the big GOAT, little GOAT. We got Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, you can't write this stuff any better than the way it's played out. The Tampa Bay Bucks playing at home. A home playoff game. The first time in history. Will it be a good thing? I don't know. You have to see. There's no odds on that, right? So, right now, the line is minus 3.5 for the Chiefs. So, Vegas sees the Chiefs, 3.5 point favorite. But here's a question for you. How do you gamble against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl? If you've done it before, you've won. But more times than losing, you've won. Because that's what Brady does. He wins in the Super Bowl. This is his 10th Super Bowl. It's crazy, right? Crazy. Most players don't even play 10 playoff games. More or less 10 Super Bowls. It's absolutely ridiculous. And he's had a great season. He's 43. He's got a good team. He's got some weapons. He's got a running game. He's got a nasty offensive line that gets after it. He's got some playmakers at receiver. And he's got two really good tight ends. His boy from New England, which is Rob, and the other white guy, which is from Harvard, which I can't remember his last name, but he's been balling out in the playoffs. And I think it's because everyone else is covered, so he just usually finds a soft spot in the defense and makes a play. But the Chiefs, man, Travis Kelce at tight end, Tyreek Hill at receiver, Hardeman at receiver. These boys are tough. And Mahomes, he extends the play, which is a defense's worst nightmare, and eats them up. So who's the pick? Who are we going with? Who are we throwing all of our money on? If you've listened earlier, I had a $15 futures bet going towards the Bucks that I put in before the playoffs even started for them to win. So that pays out $150. At 12-point logistics, we've got a $500 future bet on the Chiefs to win. That pays out $1,700. But you see what I really want to do? What I really want to do is just pick the winner. And I think Vegas has it wrong. Yeah? I think Tom Brady gets the job done. I think Tom Brady wins this game, gets his 6th ring or whatever it is, MVP, balls out, wins on the – I always want to say this, wins on the last drive. If Brady is down or up 6 or less, down or up 6 or less, with the last drive, game on the line, you can't bet against Tom Brady. It just can't be a thing. You can't do it. You can't bet against Tom Brady. So, I mean, let's go back to the 80s and the 90s. If you could go back in time, would you ever bet against Michael Jordan? Nope. Wouldn't do it. So, when you get older and you're thinking, man, should I ever bet against Tom Brady? Nope. I shouldn't have. Because 6 out of 10 times you're going to be right because Tom Brady's going to bring it home this weekend. But the fun thing here is to look at all the other bets that come with the Super Bowl that don't come with other ball games. So let's look here. The coin toss outcome. -103 heads or tails. I believe tails has been the winner of this 6 of the last 7 Super Bowls. So that's a pretty 50-50 bet. The coin toss winner, the Bucs or the Chiefs, -106. Will the player correctly call the opening coin toss? Will he get it right? Heads or tails? Will he actually get it right? Odds are 106. I mean, it's crazy. To win the coin toss and win the game, check this out. You ready for this bet, Ethan? First Gatorade color dumped on the winning coach. Orange is +125. Red is +200. Yellow, green, or lime is +300. Clear or water is +350. Blue is +700, and purple is +800. I think +350s on the clear or water is pretty strong. I think that's a good one. The first play, will it be a pass or a run? Trick plays. Any quarterback to throw a forward pass after a lateral to flea flicker. Total players to attempt a pass on a team. Total players to complete a pass on a team. Total players to throw a touchdown pass on a team. The national anthem. Any scoring drive to take less time than the singing of the national anthem. That's fantastic. Lead changes. Will any offensive or defensive lineman score a touchdown? What's going to happen on the first drive? Will any field goal hit the uprights or the crossbar? I mean, these bets are ridiculous. Any kickoff returns. First half 2-minute warning occur with exactly 2 minutes on the clock. Second half 2-minute warning to occur with exactly 2 minutes on the clock. Any quarterback to record 500 or more total passing yards. Any ruling on the field overturned by a coach's challenge. Final play of the game to be a quarterback kneel. First team to use the coach's challenge. If you're a betting guy, there's nothing that you can't bet on in this game. Jersey number props. I mean, there's nothing that you can't bet on in this game. Player props. Who's going to score first? Who's going to score last? Quarterback props. Will Brady throw under or over 295.5 yards? Will Mahomes throw over or under 325.5 yards? Anything you want to bet on. Super Bowl MVP. The front runner is Mahomes. Right behind him is Tom Brady. But the pick, you can title the video The People's Captain, Super Bowl 55, prediction. Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Chiefs.
Is that your final answer?
That's my final answer.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Tampa Bay Bucks beat the Chiefs. You heard it here first. I predicted my first Super Bowl live right here.
Oh, no.
In living color. So now we have to win, right?
Yeah, you do.
You got to win. And if we win, we get our street cred up. And then next year, we got a little room to play with.
A little bit.
Outside of that, we got March Madness coming up. That's going to be fun. Plenty to gamble with there. But other than that, I've been taking a little gambling hiatus. Last week we talked a bunch about the stock market. Ethan was fired up about that. Threw $30 in the stock market to make that quick lick. And up turning that 30 into $9.
Yep. That's how it works. And listen, again, like I said last week, I was prepared to lose that money.
Yeah, like you didn't care about it.
I didn't care. I could have put in more, and I would have maybe cared a little bit more. But
yeah,
I put in enough money where I thought, if this goes up, I make a decent amount. If this goes down, I'm not losing a lot.
Yep, that's fair.
That's called making a bet.
Yeah, that's gambling. that's I do that a lot. And I've won some and I've lost some. It is what it is. Other things that have happened in the news for all you college football fans out there, all you video game fans out there, and all of you that are college football fans that are also video game fans. There was a game back in the day. We've talked about this game. We love this game. We like this game. This game was the best game to ever come out, and it was always the best game. And it was NCAA college football. It was usually NCAA 2000, whatever it was, right? I believe the first game was in the early 1990s, maybe middle 90s. And oh man, what was it called? It was based off of one of the coaches back then. It was, instead of doing like Madden NFL football, it was like ex-coach college football. And then it turned into NCAA football 2000 whatever. And it really took off probably in 2001 when the PlayStation 2 came out, and I guess the Xbox. Madden 2001, NCAA football 2001 was very good games, game-breaking games. And then they just kept getting better. 2003, 2005, now you're recruiting, and it's very realistic. Road to Glory, 2006, 2009, 2010 is good. But in 2014, NCAA 2014, which is actually the year of 2013, they made their last game, their very last game. And it was the best game. And that game's been played still today by people on Twitch and YouTube. And these people get bunches of views, and they keep playing the game. And the fine people that follow this game and keep up with this game continue to update the rosters. And so you can play NCAA College Football 2014 with updated rosters, play a dynasty, and that makes it fun. The game has carried on through the 2014 year. This week, EA Sports, ESPN, and SportsCenter all put out a very good tweet. The best tweet I've seen in forever. And it was that the college football series is coming back. The Collegiate Licensing Center and the NCAA and EA Sports have reached an agreement that they're going to do over 100 teams, stadiums, uniforms, playbooks. Everything's going to be the same, except they're not going to use the player's likeness. I don't know what that means, because they never claimed to use the player's likeness in the old games. They would just use position and number. So I'm assuming it's going to still be like that. They just won't actually use their likeness in the game or say their name or anything of sorts. So I'm excited about that. A lot of things have changed since the last NCAA game. You now have the playoffs. You have the national championship. There's the targeting rule that is in effect now, that if you hit somebody too hard or helmet to helmet or hit a defenseless man, now you're out for the rest of the game, maybe out for the next half of the next game. There's a transfer portal, so it's comes along with recruiting. So now you're going to have guys transferring out that don't get a lot of playing time, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. This game could be really great, and the NCAA franchise has been so good in the past that the hype for this game will be hard to hit. It'll be hard to live up to the hype that all of the old fans are going to have for this game. But like going to a movie, if you're going to pay for it, you better like it. So I'll probably enjoy it no matter what. But the rumor is it's not coming out until 2023. So that's the bummer. So until then, we're going to keep playing NCAA College Football 14, which we've been doing. We just started a new dynasty at the old office and uploaded UTC to the game, and your boy's on the game. Your boy is still in that game, and putting up some good numbers. Leading the defense, doing what we need to do, being in the right spot at the right time, making the right plays. Doing what we do. We're playing with all FCS teams. Put them in the Sun Belt. It's gonna be pretty sweet, pretty good dynasty. It'll be fun. But yeah, man, I'm excited about that. But that's a long ways to go. I was talking to Ethan. I was like, hey, man, what all cool happened this week? And I don't know if he's just been asleep the whole week or what, but there's nothing going on.
There's just not really anything interesting. Like it's one of those middle weeks. Like nothing. There's no new shows that I'm really excited about right now.
Yeah.
King Kong and Godzilla is still next month. February is just kind of a lazy month.
It's the end of next month, too.
Yeah, it's not even like the first or second. It's the end.
Mortal Kombat comes out 2 weeks after King Kong and Godzilla.
I'm excited, but I haven't seen anything for it. So
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned.
Yeah, I haven't seen any trailers for it, but it's done.
Exactly.
And they have a release date.
That's weird.
Yeah.
So maybe it hasn't even been like it's not even been like a full week since King Kong and Godzilla dropped. So maybe this weekend, Super Bowl commercial. I bet
Mortal
you anything.
Kombat.
Oh
Yep.
man, I just want to hear the classic,
Mortal Kombat.
and then it just goes into the music. Dude. So I don't know about you and your high school, but for my high school marching band, one of our like every game, well actually every quarter at least 3 or 4 times, we would play the Mortal Kombat theme. I think it was our offensive lineup.
Makes sense. I love it.
Song. It's
Yeah.
so good, and because I was in the front ensemble, but also kind of working with the drums, doing those drums once in a while. Ooh, it's hot.
I love it, dude.
Then you get the horns in the back. It's just so good. Anyway, yeah, no, Mortal Kombat was actually something I was going to bring up because I am kind of excited about it.
So, side note, in college, in the college house, obviously everybody, like, you could either pick to live on campus or off campus.
Yeah.
Several of us lived off campus in a college house, which was very well known amongst the college people. It was on Linden Hall Road. Most people knew where that was, and that's where the house was. We had a snake at this house, a little ball python, right? He lived downstairs. I was terrified of him. I didn't like him. He was my friend.
Yeah, you don't seem to like reptiles.
Just don't like anything that just not a fan of it, right?
You're not a cold-blooded animal kind
Just
of person.
not a spiders, snakes. Sharks. Anything that could bite me. I'm just not really a fan. So I love dogs though, so that's cool. Don't like cats. Anyways, so we had a snake, and his name was Duke, and he lived downstairs. And one thing we really loved doing with Duke was we liked to get really drunk. And we like to pull his cage or his aquarium in the middle of the room, and we like to buy some mice, and we would take some tweezers, and we'd grab the mice by its tail, and we would turn on Mortal Kombat downstairs, it's as loud as it could possibly go. So imagine 15 to 20 drunk college football players from UTC circled around an aquarium arena. I'm holding the white mice with his little red nose and his little red feet, little pink feet, I guess. I'm holding him up, and Duke's just like a statue on his little tree he's got, and then you just kind of see him look over. Because we hadn't fed him in like 2 weeks.
Jesus.
And we let it really catch in there. And then we would just drop that little mice down there, little mouse. And then we'd play Mortal Kombat. And on cue, I swear, dude, there was one time on video, on cue, as soon as it said Mortal Kombat, he struck from out of the tree to the bottom and pulled him up to the top of the tree. And then we just watched him devour this mouse.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, it's good times. Really good times.
Are you sure about that? Because I feel like that's a little bit of animal cruelty.
No, that was just feeding our snake.
After 2 weeks of not feeding it.
But they're a snake.
I suppose. That's fine.
He doesn't have to eat. Because what would happen is if we tried to feed him all the time, he just wouldn't attack the...
Yeah,
and
he's not that desperate.
Yeah, or he would just strike and kill it. And that was not
What's the fun in
fun.
that? Yeah, come on.
Not nice. So really cool. Mortal Kombat's coming out. And then right after that is Space Jam. Not super thrilled about it.
Yeah.
Just not a big LeBron. I respect LeBron James and his athletic ability.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong, but I am not a fan of the man.
You cannot you cannot follow up Michael Jordan
No.
in the original Space
Listen, you can't follow up Michael Jordan in basketball, more or less a movie.
Damn.
All right? Yeah.
All
like
right,
that,
well.
that's just not happening. Like, and yes, they are the greatest of all time in their era.
Yeah.
All right?
I don't know enough about basketball to say either or is better than the other.
We'll never
but
know, so why are we even
Exactly.
why are we even talking about it?
Yeah.
Like, they're the greatest of all time in their era. That's how everything should fighting. Greatest of all time in his era. Like, if you're not going to fight somebody, don't talk about them being better than each other.
Exactly.
Like, anyways.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Justice League also comes out sometime soon.
Yes. Speaking of Jared Leto,
Ooh.
he was in a movie I watched this weekend, or the other night. Monday, actually.
What movie?
The Little Things.
Oh, yeah. You're talking about this.
Uh,
A little bit.
Denzel Washington,
Yeah.
Jared Leto.
There was a third person in that movie.
Yeah. Look him up. I don't know what he's in.
I recognize him.
He's, I think he was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Rami Malek? I don't think it was Rami Malek. Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
Okay, this dude's super creepy as an actor.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever seen Mr. Robot? Mr. Robot.
No, that's a show on USA.
Yeah.
I never watched
what he's in, yeah.
Never watched it.
Yeah, no, he's one of those actors that I think I don't know necessarily if he's like a method actor like Jared Leto is.
Yeah.
Or Tom Cruise. I don't think Tom Cruise is. Christian Bale is a method actor.
Right.
Shoot. I feel terrible because I can't remember his name, but the guy that played Joker.
Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger was a major method actor. But Rami Malek, for whatever reason, he is just like one of those guys that can play a character, and you just like he can creep you out. Or in Bohemian Rhapsody, you're just like, oh man, I really want to meet this guy.
So speaking of method acting, right? So, Denzel Washington is a hermit. Never comes out, doesn't do media, hardly ever, unless he has a movie out. He does it for that movie, and then he's done with it, right? So, someone asked Denzel Washington about Jared Leto. And the way,
I saw some of this.
Yeah, and he responded with this. He didn't do any of that with me. Nah. He'd been paid a visit. That wouldn't happen. I stayed away from him. He stayed away from me, respectfully so. We'd bow or nod across the highway. The highway. Literally, one day, we nodded across the highway from each other, but I'd follow him around. I was outside of his apartment sometimes, and he didn't know. I won't say anything more about it. I'll put it this way. He didn't know.
Okay, that's a little weird.
But, like, so from what I've heard is, like, Jared would creep out most of his co-stars on every show that
Evidently, him during Suicide Squad was probably some of the worst. Like, you'd have to be kind of a crappy person to do some of the stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
And, again, method acting, I respect it. Because it's just whoever, that person's way of getting into character.
Yeah.
And they may or may not be able to get into character immediately, so they just play the character the entire shoot.
Yeah.
Makes sense. But then there's, I'm going to be a dick because I have this excuse.
Yeah.
And that's what Jared Leto did.
Yeah. So what was he doing on Suicide Squad?
Oh, he was sending, like, rats in boxes. And, like, he was, I mean, realistically, I mean, I don't respect it, but you have to give him kudos because he was playing the Joker. He was being the Joker, and he was sending, evidently used paraphernalia that he had personally used. He was sending, rats in boxes, excrement in boxes.
Oh.
Yeah. Just people being terrible people.
Yeah. But you get away with it because you're the Joker.
You get away with it because you're Jared Leto. I don't think it had anything to do about being the Joker.
Well, I'll put it this way: he played a fairly decent weird person in the movie, which probably wasn't too much of a stretch for him. He probably wasn't method acting that much. Denzel Washington did as good as Denzel Washington can do. I love Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Probably, if not number one, he's 100% my top 5.
Okay.
Like There's not a movie that I do not like that Denzel's in.
See, that's how I am with, I think, RDJ.
Who's that?
Robert Downey.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
maybe some of the earlier stuff
Mm-hmm.
when he was, on drugs. But ever since Iron Man, it doesn't matter what RDJ is in. And he's not in a lot, to be fair.
Yeah. Doolittle.
Okay, never mind. There are a few movies that RDJ.
I haven't
is in.
seen that, so I can't say.
I've heard nothing but terrible things, and I watched a little bit of it, and I was like, nope.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no. Christian Bale's also kind of that guy. I can watch anything Christian Bale's in. Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. So Matthew
Leo.
McConaughey, Leo, and Denzel are 1,000,000,000% in my top 5.
Yeah, like again, those are just guys that do movies that I don't think I've seen one that they're in that I hated.
And I guess I'd have to have The Rock on the outside of that, like as far as like rounding out 5, just because I like all his movies because I'm such a Rock fan.
Yeah.
So I don't know who 4 is.
Who's number 1?
Probably Denzel. It'd be Denzel or Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I can see that.
I like Brad Pitt. I like Leonardo DiCaprio.
See,
I like Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise is not in my top 5.
I mean,
I know that
dude,
for a fact.
Yeah, but think of those movies: Edge of Tomorrow, Top Gun. What you didn't like Edge of Tomorrow?
I didn't really care for it.
I loved Edge of Tomorrow.
See, Edge of Tomorrow, I watched like decently close to Interstellar, and Interstellar just eclipsed it entirely.
Yeah, I mean Interstellar was great.
Yeah.
I loved Edge of Tomorrow too, though. I wasn't expecting to be like Groundhog's Day. I didn't.
I mean,
didn't expect that.
I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just trying to think. Like, there's not really, again, media as far as current right now. It's not really a lot.
Yeah, there's
Maybe we need to give each other like homework to watch, because I feel like I've got a list of movies that you need to watch if you haven't watched them.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we come back in here next week, because other than the Super Bowl, I don't imagine anything major happening.
Yeah, I mean, next week we're going to be talking about how I was right that the Bucks won the Super Bowl and that you should have bet on them, right? And we're going to talk about how I won some money on the Bucks and win the Super Bowl. We might talk about my wrestling match for tomorrow. Maybe, but I'll probably forget about it by next Thursday.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you this. How about I'm gonna challenge you, because as a movie guy and a film buff that loves the creativity that comes with movies, I'm going to challenge you to watch every Edgar Wright movie. There's not that many.
Excuse me?
Edgar Wright.
Who is Edgar Wright?
Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, End of the World, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and Baby Driver.
So here's my problem. You ready for it?
Do you not like Simon Pegg?
Is that the
Shaun of the Dead.
Here's my thing. I've never seen any of those.
Good.
Okay, but there's a reason why I haven't seen any of those. Because I've scrolled these movies many a times.
Yeah.
And every time I see that stupid face of that, who's the main actor?
Simon Pegg.
That guy.
The blonde one?
Yes, with his light-colored beard,
Yeah.
real short. Yeah. I don't know what it is, but sometimes, dude, there's just somebody that I just cannot stand to look at, and he's one of them.
But I
don't know why.
I think that kind of adds to some of his like the characters that he plays in at least the trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy is what they call it. Not that they're like connected, but it's the three people. It's Edgar Wright, Simon Pegg, and the other guy. They're all three working on these 3 movies, and they're all really good. I highly recommend watching at least those 3.
Are they cheesy movies?
No. They are very well made movies on low budgets. Like you literally can sit down and watch these movies multiple times and pick out little tiny details that really don't matter. I'm going to be honest with you. Right. They do not matter. They don't take away or add any. They don't take away from your viewing experience. But when you see it, you're like, "Holy cow! Edgar Wright paid that much attention to doing that." Like there's a whole line or some dialogue in the first movie, Shaun of the Dead, that literally like it once you watch it a first time, the first time, I mean, and then watching it again, and you hear that dialogue, you're like, oh, everything makes sense a little bit more.
Okay, so here's why I haven't watched it. There's Dawn of the Dead,
Yeah,
and then there's Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead is supposed to be a comedy.
So it's a comedy.
They're all comedic movies.
So is it like a scary movie?
No.
No, not a scary movie.
No.
Is it like it?
It's not like Scary Movie.
Okay.
It is not lampooning anything.
Okay.
It is in a sense. It's all three of those movies are lampooning at the genre itself. So Shaun of the Dead is lampooning or satirizing. Their satire of zombie movies,
Mm-hmm.
and Hot Fuzz is action movies. You'll probably actually really like Hot Fuzz.
Okay.
And then End of the World is alien sci-fi.
Okay. So I got to watch those 3 movies by next Thursday.
Next Thursday, I want you, and you know what? I want you to text me, like during and after, because I wanna get your takes on those. But they're just good movies.
What are they on?
I don't know. I would probably say Netflix or Hulu, one of the big two.
Let's look it up. Let's see. Let's see what we got these on. Let's see if we can pull up the old. What am I watching? Shaun of the Dead. Shaun.
Hulu.
SHUN, right?
AUN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna be Hulu, most likely.
Yeah.
We'll put these in my old watch list. You know.
Hot Fuzz is on Hulu as well.
Shaun of the Dead, 2004. All right, adding that to my stuff. What was the next one? Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz, yep.
Hot Fuzz. This is that live. This is what we do in real time, people. 2007. All right, Hot Fuzz, my stuff, and
So the last one is actually called The World's End.
The World's End.
Yeah, and it's sci-fi / apocalypse movies. And that one actually, it looks like is on. It looks like YouTube or Amazon.
Ugh.
Yeah, you might have
Like
to
Amazon
look at those.
Prime.
Prime Video is what it says. Yeah.
Let's see. The World's End. See, they never give you all of them at the same place.
No,
You know?
never. If you don't want to watch either those 3, those are the best 3.
Got a rent or buy this? Jesus Christ. All right, what?
If you don't watch any of those 3, I would highly recommend Baby Driver.
Baby Driver.
Yeah. That one's one of the newest.
That's another rent or buy.
That one's on Hulu.
Hulu, is it?
Yep.
Baby Driver.
And then Scott Pilgrim is on Netflix.
Okay, will Tia like any of these?
What movies does she like? I don't know.
I mean, she likes like thrillers, dramas, like figured out movies.
She might like Hot Fuzz because it is a little bit of a murder mystery.
Okay. What was the last one?
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. You may not even like that one, but I like it. It is a video game movie that wasn't based on a video game.
Okay. All right.
But it's just good. What's
that on?
That one's on Netflix. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Baby Driver is kind of a heist movie, in a sense. That's the thing about Edgar Wright. He doesn't necessarily make the same movies back to back, for sure.
Okay. So if I had to watch 3 of those by next Thursday, what 3 am I watching? Because I've got Tia's got to work Saturday, Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. So I've got some time.
You got time.
She'll be sleeping some on Sunday.
Yeah.
And I got some time.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely recommend, at the very least, watching Hot Fuzz. That one's probably the best out of the 3.
I don't have to watch them in order.
No. There is no order in these movies. That's again what's so nice about Edgar Wright's movie making. What the trilogy, the Cornetto trilogy, it's based on an English like ice cream cone. You know, the drumsticks, like they come in like a cone.
Yep.
That's what a cornetto is basically.
Gotcha.
and Cornetto used to have only 3 flavors, and that's what they based each of the movies on for the Cornetto trilogy. And I think it's like chocolate, mint, and strawberry.
Gotcha.
And so, basically, they just wanted to make the same 3 movies with the same people, at least the same main cast.
Yeah.
And they had like 0 budget. Like Shaun of the Dead, I think, had one of the lowest budgets of any of Edgar Wright's movies.
Yeah.
And it was maybe like a couple million max.
Oh, wow.
If that.
That's
like,
barely anything.
Yeah. Well, budget was 6.1.
Okay.
But that was also 2004 money.
Yeah. I mean, The Rock gets paid $20 million to show up.
Exactly.
So, you know.
And that's also like during the same time as Lord of the Rings coming out.
Right.
It's also Harry Potter coming out.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Like those, it was in that time frame, and it's one of those under the radar, whatchamacallit, cult classics.
Gotcha.
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure. But
All right.
again, Edgar Wright doesn't make bad movies.
I've never had a reason to watch any of those
Exactly.
because I thought they were all garbage of trash.
Again, they're satire. They're not lampoon.
Okay.
So you're not looking at just dumb humor for dumb humor.
Okay.
Sake.
Yeah.
It's very thoughtful,
Okay.
especially the writing.
All right. What else we got? Give me something else.
I don't know, man. I'm catching up on shows. I'm watching Doctor Who again.
Never seen it.
It's just one of those shows that's like, my parents watched it all the way through to catch up at one point when we finally got like Netflix or a smart TV or something like that.
Gotcha.
So it was always in the background
Yeah.
in high school and middle school. So just going back and watching it, it's just like comfort zone.
What's the nurse movie? Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's Anatomy.
TSR started watching that. Similar.
Yeah. That's back when before I even moved down here. It was
Yeah.
just me and my mom. She would watch Grey's Anatomy every night.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. It's pretty good. I mean,
But I've always said Scrubs is a superior show.
Scrubs.
Yeah. Scrubs is more medically accurate.
No.
It's the most medically accurate show
Really?
for whatever reason.
That's funny. What else? I started watching. So I tried to watch this movie. You might like it. It's called Locked Down.
Locked Down.
Yeah.
Who's in it?
Anne Hathaway.
I'm already sold.
And it's got this black dude in it. It's been in movies that I've seen, but I can't. Excuse me. I can't.
Oh, Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yes, I couldn't put his name. All right, so
Yeah. It's a difficult name.
yeah, so it's a right now movie,
Yeah.
current day, pandemic.
Oh my gosh. I'm reading the overview. Jeez.
It's I got like, I don't know, 25, 30 minutes into it the other night, and it was after I'd watched The Little Things, and I was just tired and fell asleep.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back through and give it another shot. But it was very like, ooh, this is right now.
Yeah.
And not like Chattanooga right now, like New York right now.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah. So it was like it's a relationship falling apart. And
then having to be forced back together.
Having to be living together. And one guy not with a job trying to... He's like the guy that's like doing drugs and finding himself and figuring out his way, and now he
listened to a little bit too much Joe Rogan.
Yeah, and now he did some DMT, and now he's ready to do his own thing. And then you got the girl Anne Hathaway, who business professional, having to fire people over Zoom calls, that type stuff, right? So, it seemed all right. I just fell asleep. But it's on HBO Max.
Yeah.
And I started watching, and I made it through about half of this show, and then Marcus was ready to go to bed. And I went to bed too. The Flight Attendant. It's a TV show.
Oh, I see. All of this is on HBO Max.
Yeah, it's on HBO Max.
I am very happy with HBO Max. When I bought, I think I mentioned this before. When I bought Cyberpunk, evidently Cyberpunk was like licensed by WB.
Oh, okay.
So I got a free like month, and that's where I've been watching Doctor Who.
Yeah.
It actually just rolled over, and it was like, we have charged you $14.99. I was like, fine.
Dude, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
And at least for like what, next 2-3 months, I'll pay it.
I mean, dude, okay, so you're paying $14.99 a month for literally at least one blockbuster movie per month, right? Like one movie that would be coming out in theaters.
Yeah, they definitely like set up their launch schedule pretty well.
Yeah. The way I was looking at it, you've got, I believe, next month or at the end of this month is Tom and Jerry.
Which honestly, like,
looks all right.
I'm not upset.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
It's like the Sonic movie.
Yeah.
I was not interested at all. I thought it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But they they did the second pass on the animation.
Yeah.
And I've heard it's nothing but good. So I mean,
You haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
So Marcus has watched that movie maybe a million times, and so that means I've watched it probably a million times, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Which we actually bought it on our Prime account because he kept renting it. So
Oh, no.
Yeah, I'd be at work and it'd be like $6.99, you know. So I just ended up buying it for him. But then you've got Tom and Jerry, and then you've got
Godzilla
and Kong,
and then Mortal Kombat.
Mortal
after
Kombat,
that. Like,
and then it's I'm pretty sure it's Space Jam, and then there's like some type of musical in the in between there.
but here, I'm just looking at this. Like, honestly,
The Matrix comes out in December.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Didn't even think about that. I probably won't. It's probably going to be a Disney Plus situation. I'm probably going to skip this month.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to charge it again until Godzilla and King Kong comes out,
Yeah.
and then I'll look
sense.
for a free trial or
But
something.
another one, Top Gun comes out like in either July or August.
It didn't. Top Gun 2 didn't come out.
Mm-mm.
I could have sworn it
So
did.
it comes out during this too.
I'm gonna definitely make a list of HBO Max stuff you can watch because I've got my list right now.
Yeah.
Chernobyl. Did you ever watch the?
You
the
know,
full
man,
Chernobyl
so I started the first episode, and I guess I just don't know anything about it, any history, so I need
Yeah.
to do my homework first.
See, that's what I did, or that's what I thought about doing. But when I just kind of like jumped off the pier into it, and then I was able to on my phone while watching it, just look up like, what does that mean? And then
Yeah.
look it up, and it's it's a nonfiction. Like, there's no real big fluff to it.
Yeah.
It is pretty much in your face, just like, this is what it is. This is serious. We're not making jokes about it.
Right.
And it was very good.
Yeah. I mean, I heard it was great. And it
it's-
looked like it was filmed great. So
Oh, it's filmed amazing.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where, like, I am very partial to be like, I'm one of those Gen Zers right now that's just like, we just need to just switch to fusion. Like, we're finally figuring out fusion power. We need to just switch to it and save us all that time.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to say that without knowing the risks.
Right.
And watching Chernobyl, even though, and this is something very important, if you ever think about fusion or fission power, nuclear power in general, if you ever think about it and then say, well, what about Nagasaki, or not Nagasaki? If you think about the Japan disaster, or you think about Chernobyl, two disasters that happened in two different centuries, so not even a full century apart. If you think about that, if you think about either of those two things, just know that those two disasters happened because of very specific reasons that, even especially here in America, we've pretty much zeroed those chances out, because Chernobyl happened because of communism. That's the easiest way of saying it. The communist regime was expecting X, and that's coming from people that don't know nuclear power.
Right.
And so the people that do know nuclear power didn't care because they didn't want to get shot.
Yeah.
So they just pushed it anyway. And that's what,
Yeah.
everything explodes. Terrible disaster.
Right.
And then in Japan, it wasn't necessarily anyone's fault. It was a natural disaster at first. It was a tsunami
Right.
that just kind of broke down in very specific ways because people didn't handle it the way they were supposed to. And then after the fact, you look back and you're like, oh, the government botched everything.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it last week when I was talking about Godzilla. The 2016 Japanese Godzilla movie
Right.
is based on that nuclear disaster because it was so bad.
Right. I need to watch that one.
Yeah, you do. It is very good. I think that's also on Netflix. You've got some homework this week.
There's a Godzilla cartoon on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they wasn't expecting that. But anyways. All right. How long have we been doing this?
Right about 4 to 5.
I was not planning on going that long tonight.
Shin Godzilla is on YouTube for 99 cents.
On YouTube?
Yeah. It's not a bad. It is worth the money.
I got to watch it in subtitles?
Yes. It is a Japanese movie. But is, I think, like one of the first Japanese Godzillas in, 20, 30 years.
Yeah, so decent.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give it a shot. I got plenty of things to do. Oh, there's UFC this weekend.
Oh, do we care?
I mean, it's not Conor McGregor.
It's not Conor. It's not Khabib.
I mean, I'll probably bet on it, but I will bet on it.
you know yourself better than that.
Yeah, I'll bet on it. Other than that, man,
it's just one of those weeks,
dude. It's such a slow week at work. Oh my god! Like it's been going so well in January, and then like the first 2 days of February were just like very bad.
I can see that.
Would just put me like, and not for any reason. Good for like, not the months I'd been having. Just not good. It wasn't keeping pace, right? And I was frustrated. But then the past 2 days have been pretty good. So tomorrow will be good. So we're having a good week, but a slow week. I was sad.
All right, let's get out of here.
All right, Tampa Bay Bucks. Tom Brady, Super Bowl 55 winners. Take that to the bank. Take me out with my outro. Thank you. Subscribe. YouTube. Click the like button. Thank you, Ethan, for reminding me. Go to iTunes. Give us a review. Subscribe to our channel. Go to Spotify. Click that little green button. Watch us. Ethan is going to get everything up.
Yep, I'm doing it tonight.
Via bus route, via tonight. So this will be current going into Super Bowl weekend.
Yeah.
Fair? And then next week we will catch up on the rest of this crazy world. And thank you, Joe Biden, for keeping up with your promise and most likely delivering the $2,000 stimulus checks that you're going to give out. That's the reason why pretty much you got those seats in Georgia, right? But wait a minute. You're going to take the $600 that Trump gave out.
Gunner, we can save this. Save it.
And subtract that. And subtract this from $2,000, and you're going to give out $1,400 in a stimulus check, maybe to different income people, depending. If you make too much, you're not going to get it this time. So not the same people are going to get it. But, pretty much if you add those two together, it's about $2,000. So I'm loaded on promises.